Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So first of all, happy 2023. I know I've said this in other videos before, but I'm super excited for the new year, and I always love getting into a new planner setup. I think a lot of you do as well. So I'm super excited to share with you guys my planner setup for my Louis Vuitton GM agenda and a flip through. So I hope you're excited about that as well. Honestly, I do realize we are pretty late into 2023, but I've gotten a little bit of a late start. I spent a lot of time visiting family and friends even after the New Year's hit, so I'm really just now kind of getting into my new planner, so I'm excited to do a little flip through. Plus, I'm also going to do a pretty detailed review as well of this planner now that I've owned it and used it pretty heavily for over a year now. So I hope you're excited about those things. If you are, definitely keep watching. If you're new here, thanks so much for checking this out. I'm a full-time working mom, but in my spare time, I love making these videos on fashion, beauty, mommy lifestyle, in addition to a little bit of luxury and reselling as well. So if those kind of things sound at all interesting, definitely check out my other videos down below, and please also consider hitting that little subscribe button as well. If you are a returning subscriber, thank you so much for watching yet another video. Okay guys, so today I'm just going to focus on my beautiful Louis Vuitton GM or large ring agenda in the monogram canvas, as you can see here. I've owned this piece for a little over a year and have used it on a daily basis. So I think by now I'm able to give you a little bit of a pretty thoughtful review on what I think of this agenda, pros and cons, and show you some wear and tear. Plus, as promised, I'm also going to take you through my 2023 setup and flip through. So I'm just going to start off with my review first, and as I mentioned, I've owned this for a little over a year. I did purchase this on the Louis Vuitton website when I believe this was a little harder to come by. I couldn't find them in the stores anywhere, so I was lucky to score this online just randomly one day. So I quickly snatched it up and it got mailed to me right away. So that's how I purchased this item. As I mentioned in my initial unboxing, I believe, of this item, I didn't want to go pre-loved for agendas. This is completely just my personal preference. Don't get me wrong, as you've been watching on this channel, I do buy a lot of pre-loved luxury items. I think that's an amazing option for a lot of people. But for me, at least, when I looked on the pre-love market, most agendas definitely showed decent amounts of wear. And I think that's just because of the nature of this type of piece. Where you're using it on a daily basis, it does take a lot of abuse, I would say. So on the pre-love market for agendas, at least for me, there was just a little too much wear for my personal preference. Plus, as I'll show you in a little bit, I did want to get mine hot stamped as well, so I thought just buying it from the boutique or online was just the easiest way to go about getting, everything I wanted. So in terms of the specs of this item, this is again called the large ring agenda cover, also known as the GM size. In terms of inserts, it does hold the A5 size inserts, in case you're wondering. The dimensions are the width of this in this direction measures 7.1 inches. The height in this direction measures 8.7 inches, and this is all per the website. As you can see, this is in the monogram canvas. It is leather lined. And this item also comes in other options in terms of materials. So with regard to other canvas options, this is available in the damier ebene print, which I also loved. I do now own the damier ebene print agenda in the size, so stay tuned for that video. As you've probably seen, for Christmas, I did treat myself to the size of this agenda in the damier ebene. So that is a brand new planner for me. Shortly after this video goes live, I will be uploading the video of my flip through of my agenda and show you how I plan to use both. We'll see if it works for me, but I did purchase the ebene in the size. But this one is also available, besides in the damier ebene, in different leather choices, so tiger leather and epi leather as well. So let me go ahead and show you some wear and tear on this item. So as I mentioned before, I've been using this item on a daily basis for the entire past year. And currently how I like to use it is just to keep this at home. It's kind of my at-home kind of base in terms of our schedule. So as you'll see in my insert flip through, I put down everything in terms of our schedule from myself, my husband, and my 4 kids. As you can imagine, our schedules are a little bit tight with all the people in our house, so I keep everyone's schedules in this one home-based type of a planner. So I've been using every day, but I do keep it at home. I don't bring it to work with me anymore or carry it around just because it is so heavy. And I will talk about this more as I show you how I set up my agenda in my upcoming video. But that's the reason I purchased the smaller size, hopefully to make it more portable for me and I can take it to work and other places in my bags. But this one for me now, I think works best just at home. And that's just because it's so heavy. So keep that in mind when you're looking at wear and tear. Although I do use it a lot, I don't take it in bags and lug it around with me. So I think for that reason, it's held up very, very well. So the first thing is you can see here is the canvas, and it's the beautiful monogram. And as you'll see, there really aren't any major signs of wear on the canvas. I think it still looks really pristine. There's something there which I think is probably just going to come off, but there's really nothing major on here. I think the glazing itself looks really nice. So yeah, no concerns on the canvas or the glazing. People often do comment in terms of wear on the little button here. So these agendas, the ring agendas at least, have a snap button closure here, as you can see. So one bit of wear, of course, is see how this flips up a little, and that's the nature of just when you pull this, it's going to flip up. Here's the button here. It's branded, as you can see, and I don't know if you can tell, but there definitely are scratches on here, and that's the main site of wear on these agendas, I would say, is the button. And so far, it's still really shiny, and the gold tone is still there, but definitely see some scratches. I mean, obviously, I don't mind about that. This is going to happen, but that's one site of wear. Since I do keep this at home, I tend not to leave it closed like this, so that minimizes the wear. So normally I'll just leave it unbuttoned like this on my desk because there's no point to closing this item every day when I'm just leaving it on my desk at home. So I do leave it like this just to minimize the wear on that little button closure. So before I go ahead and show you a flip through of this year's setup, I do want to share with you guys what types of bags this will fit in. So as I've already mentioned, when I first purchased this planner last year, I had all intention of taking this around with me and taking it to work, using this as my one main agenda. I do work in an office setting and a clinic setting, as you all probably know if you watch this channel. So I thought I could just take this to my workplace, leave it on my desk, or take it even to my clinic setting with me and just take this everywhere with me, take notes on it, use it kind of as my little handy companion. Needless to say, that didn't last very long. I've seen so many reviews on this agenda, and everyone says how heavy it gets, especially with this amount of inserts. But, you know, I didn't believe them. I was like, it's not a big deal. I'll just deal with it because it's so beautiful. I wanted to use this. So I tried that for maybe a couple of months. And then I realized, you know what, I can't do this. It is way too heavy. I carry too much to work with me already. So I had to start leaving this at home, as beautiful as it is. But in terms of what kind of bags it fits in, because it's so large, you are somewhat limited. This will not obviously fit in your smaller bags. I tried this in my Pochette Matisse, and a lot of you own that bag just for size reference, and this will not fit in the Pochette Matisse. However, the size comfortably fits in the large section of the Pochette Matisse. This one does not. So I just decided to pull out a bag that you all probably are likely familiar with, and that is the good old Speedy 30. Here is my now vintage Speedy 30 in the original version, as you can see here. I did a quick review on this bag before and did contrast it with the newer model and also the Abine with the bandolier. So I will link that below in case you're curious. But I love this bag. I do not carry it as much as I would like, but this is truly vintage now in terms of how old it is, and it's held up super, super well. Granted, I don't use it that much because I'm worried about the vachetta. Plus, it only has the hand or arm carry option. It doesn't have the strap. This isn't the bandolier version. So for those reasons, I don't use it as much, but I do love it. I just love the classic look of the Speedy. Enough about the bag though. I can do more updates on Speedies if you'd like. I definitely am a Speedy girl. I love Speedies. So anyway, this one will fit into the Speedy as I will show you here, but it is a little bit of a tighter fit. So as you all know, with the Speedies, it's just a huge open pit. This zipper just ends on the tips here, so it is hard to maneuver some items in here, but you can fit this in. You have to put it in a diagonal first like this, But it does fit, as you can see, pretty comfortably. So I'd be comfortable carrying it in a Speedy if I wanted to. So here's what it looks like in the Speedy. There's still tons of room, as you can see. Fits very comfortably. It's not really a tight squeeze, but like a lot of items in Speedies, you do have to put it in the diagonal version. But look at it, it fits great. But it is heavy, as I mentioned before. So I will go ahead and just take the agenda out, but as you can see, it fits comfortably in a Speedy 30. It obviously will fit in a Neverfull. I know a lot of you have that bag, as I do as well, and I love that for work. So it will fit in most common work size type of totes and bags, but it does not fit, for instance, in the pochette métis or smaller bags than that. Okay, so now I want to just take you through a quick flip through, and as a little bit of a teaser here, I do want to just let you guys know that I did upload my cloth and paper haul, and most of my inserts are from cloth and paper, so check that out if you want to see what I got. And I do have a lot of the extra sticky notes and items in this little pouch I got, and I'll share with you guys this a little more in my video talking about my agenda, just for the sake of time. But I do have my extra pieces stored in this for my planners, and then I will go through a little bit more about some of the extra items that I purchased, and including just demonstrating some of the pens that I got, which I am not using currently in this planner. I will tell you why, but stay tuned for that in the upcoming video. All right, so those are my planner accessories, but let me just take you through a quick flip through of this year's setup. So again, I love this as a desk agenda at home. I love the A5 size for various reasons. Mainly, it lies flat compared to the other agenda options. I was able to hot stamp it, as you can see, which I think turned out really, really well, and I love hot stamping these types of accessories. In these little folders here, I really keep a lot of things. I took them out now for privacy reasons, but in the back one here, I tend to keep my children's schedule from school, which they print out for us. And then here I keep little odds and ends. So for instance, I had some prescriptions that I still have on paper, my contact and glasses prescription that I just removed for the sake of this video, but I keep things like that here, notes that I want to keep track of. In this little card pocket, you could put business cards or credit cards. I have a little sticker pack that I got last year from Etsy as a little thank you, and I just haven't used them, so I just stuck them in there because they're cute. I have a couple of journaling cards here as well from my cloth and paper recent haul. So I don't know what I'm really going to do with that pocket still, but that's what I have in there for right now. And then as we go through the main sections here, I did recently get this little dual cloth and paper clip. It is super strong in terms of the magnets, so strong that it's hard to even move it around. You can hear how strong it is when I flip it down. It's so strong, but it's great quality. I love the color of this little tan kind of coffee and cream color. I think it's so pretty. And I did haul this particular dashboard last year. It has the Louis Vuitton like print, which I love, and it's a little see-through, so you can see my name through it. From the page underneath. So I just love this, and I'm going to stick with this. I don't know, it worked for me this past year. I really like the look of it. I have some other options that I purchased too, but I'm just going to go with this, at least for now. I'll probably change throughout the year, but for now I love it. And I just have this little spare clip here to use for whatever I want. I often use them for bookmarkers, page markers, or I can clip you know, if I find a little nice journal card or inspirational quote or something, sometimes I'll clip it on the front. So the next page here is this beautiful page that I got from Etsy, and it has my name in rose gold font here. It has a pocket, and that's really what I love in this agenda, is just so many pockets to use. I kept a lot of work-related notes in here. I just fold a standard size letter paper in half, and it fits perfectly. So this holds a decent amount. I took out the papers that I had in here for confidentiality reasons, but I just love the kind of marble look and the rose gold. And then I have the pocket here from Cloth and Paper. This is just a top-loading little card sleeve, and it has 4 card spots, as you can see. I really didn't use this that much this year. I still have some dot stickers in there, but you know, I might try to use it more going forward. But I really don't use these as wallets like I know some people do, so I don't really need space for credit cards at all. But I don't know, it's there in case I want it. Maybe I'll put some of my SA or CA's cards in here. That might be a good place for it. So one quick thing in terms of wear and tear, and a little review here of this agenda is, use of these rings. So when I unboxed this and first started using it last year, I did comment about this in that video where the rings just don't close all the way. So I don't know if you guys can even see what I'm talking about, but when you look at the rings here, they don't close all the way, especially the ones on the end. So for instance, this one, there's a little gap. You can see that. It just doesn't close all the way. And this is true for my new MM as well. Some of the rings don't close all the way. The ones in the middle are a little better, but the one up here too also doesn't close all the way. So honestly, that is a little bit annoying. I feel that if you open it using the actual tabs, it does pull more on the outside rings, as you can see there, and that's probably why this happens. So sometimes I will just grab this and pull it open like this to try to avoid extra strain on the outside rings. I thought it might be annoying and the paper may catch, but honestly it doesn't really. As you can see, sometimes it does. If you stop right there, it does catch a little on the opening on this top one, but it really hasn't bothered me. So I've just been rolling with it. But I mean, it's pretty bad, and it has gotten a little bit worse, I would say, over the year. And it's not enough for me to take it in for repairs or anything, but I mean, you can definitely see that little gap there. So that's definitely something that's a little bit frustrating, but I think it's par for the course with this kind of agenda. But just wanted you guys to be aware of, you know, that little feature of these agendas. So here now we're getting into the bulk of the planner, which is my main insert pack up here. So again, the main inserts are from Cloth and Paper. I did purchase the 2023 dated vertical weekly planner inserts, and this is a Sunday start. So I always pick that option, Sunday start. For me, the week starts on Sunday, and that's always how I've had all of my planners set up. I know a lot of people do like Monday start, which I totally get, but for me at least, I like the Sundays. That's what you will see here. I did notice that these weekly inserts are a little bit different than last year's versions. Some changes I think were good. Some changes I would say are not as favorable for me, but I will take you through those minor changes. Here's the first planner page here, and it has kind of where you can put your information in case your planner gets lost. Last year they didn't have this open space. This name information was just in the middle here. So this one I like better because I like how you can decorate the middle section here. Right now I did put this really cute aloha sticker, and if you watch my channel you will know that I'm originally from Hawaii, and I have a lot of strong ties to Hawaii. Obviously most of my family still lives there. So ironically, I just got this sticker yesterday from a little sticker pack up that I bought my kids from Amazon. It was just, you know, probably hundreds of stickers you could get, and these are intended for, you know, water bottles or binders. And I saw this one and I was, well, I am going to take that for me, I told them, because I thought it would be perfect here. So I just love it. I'm probably going to decorate this a little bit more, maybe pictures of my kids or little drawings throughout the year. I didn't fill anything out in this agenda, as you'll see so far, because I want to protect, of course, obviously, my personal information and all of our schedules. So you'll see this is a total blank planner for now when I'm filming this, but I'm looking forward to kind of filling all this stuff out and getting things in. But that's the first page here. And then there's some notes here. That's what I like about these inserts. There's often just random note pages throughout. So I definitely use these when I go to meetings or have things to jot down. I like having everything in the agenda. So a page of notes is awesome. It has a year at a glance of 2023 on one page. More notes, and then the holidays and observances, the main ones here. It's crazy how quickly we've already jumped into the year, but it has all the main holidays listed here. Some more notes, awesome. And then the whole purpose of this planner is I'm going to use it primarily just for scheduling. I will show you my MM setup that I'm going to upload shortly, how I use that a little differently. But for this planner, again, this is my at-home planner with everyone's schedules that I put in here. So it's really, as you can see here, just set up for that. I can't really put much more because this is already pretty bulky. So I did pick up last year the index here with the monthly tabs. I have the gold foiling, which I really like with this particular setup. So that's what I have in here. I did make some modifications where I did put the little graphic that they put in every month. Normally, if you get the agenda inserts, this graphic is toward the end of the month. But I liked how it was a little bit of a dashboard here at the beginning of the month. So I put all the pictures for each month at the front section. So here's what I decided to put for January. And again, I kind of mixed up the pictures a little bit, honestly, but this is the one I put here. And then if I flip through here, it has more notes, which is great. And here it has kind of a little dashboard, and they had a similar version last year with some minor changes. So I believe last year they had the birthday section over here, and this year they have goals, intentions, and bills due. I use the bills due a lot because I often need reimbursements for work, for instance. So whenever I have something pending, I'll put it in there in the amount and just check it off once I get that reimbursed for me. I didn't have, I don't think, a goals and intentions section last year. I don't know. I don't tend to write that many goals and intentions, but I really should probably. This year, I think that will be one of my goals or resolutions, is to try to kind of think more about every month, you know, what I want to accomplish. I think that's really healthy and a good thing to do. I do use this section as well. So last year the format was a little different. I think they had little check boxes or squares at every line instead of just this one main check line, but it has a list here basically. So you can check off a list of things you have to do for that month. So I do list things for this month that I need to get done, and I like to check them off. And then this includes a monthly spread on 2 pages, as hopefully you can see here. So what I don't like so much about this is, and maybe if you can see, that it's pretty small in terms of the boxes for each day. And that's because they put notes here and dates. So last year, the boxes for each day were larger. And I don't really need extra notes here because there's so much note paper everywhere else. I would have liked if they got rid of this. If they want to put in dates somewhere, that's okay, but I don't even really use the important dates because I just put everything on the days that they come. I don't need to list them in a separate list. And this extra section here, I think I probably could have done without. So I don't like this setup as much as last year's because I need a little more space, ideally, for each day. Because what I like to do here is I just jot down on every single day things I have to do. I don't have times, I don't have details, I don't have locations of things. That I put in later. But here I will just put, you know, meeting with so-and-so as a line, school closed, you know, things like that. So you can kind of get a good month at a glance view. I also put down, obviously, vacations and things and block them off. So I like to have this as kind of a whole setup for the month at a glance, and it's pretty small this year. So we will see. But the main thing I do love about the GM is look at how flat it is. Even though it's small, it's going to be easy to write in here. So I'm not worried about that at all in this particular setup. And these are the weekly layouts. One main difference from last year is on the month here, they do highlight the week that you're on. Again, I don't really know if that's necessary for me, but it's a change. They have a little area here for check boxes for things you need to do for that week, which I do use, so I do like that feature. And then again, it's a Sunday start, and it goes through Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And I like how it's vertical. I'm just used to this now ever since my Erin Condren days. And I just do little checks or little bullets for every item that I have, and I try to put them during the day chronologically as much as possible. And I will list, for instance, the meeting, but also the location if it's on Zoom or in person, addresses, phone numbers for people I have to meet with. You know, a lot more detail can fit here. And look at how much space it is. I never use this much space on any given day. Even though our schedules are a little tight, we never have to use that much. So this is actually more space than I need, but I like how there's just so many options of how to use the space. So I'm just going to flip through here, and the last page again is notes, which is nice. Here's the February, and I'm not going to go through every one, but I will show you the graphics that I put for each one, but each month just repeats what you just saw. And then March, I just love the clean aesthetic of these designs. It's May, June, July, August. I will say that these dividers and the quality of the paper from Cloth and Paper really are excellent, so no problems with that. They don't have bleed through with my pens, which I appreciate, so really, really love these items. All right, so December is the last month, obviously, and it has note paper at the back. So there are a couple little inserts at the end here, and I don't use them really as they are intended, but I do use the paper. So for instance, passwords, website, username, password. Honestly, who writes passwords in their agenda? Even if this is at home, I would be too nervous to do that. Obviously, if I'm taking this to work, there's no way I will do this for security reasons. So I don't have this. This is not a locked agenda like your phone would be, for instance. So I don't put passwords in here. So instead of this, you can use these lists for other things. So I'm going to repurpose this. So one would be, for instance, things like, wish lists of items I want to pick up as the holidays come around or birthdays. Throughout the year, if I think of certain items that people would love, I jot them down because sometimes I'll forget when the time comes to purchase something what I thought would be perfect for that person. So I will do that. And then I also use one of these sheets, maybe this note section here, for 2024 dates. So before I'm able to purchase the next year's inserts, obviously I start accumulating appointments for the following year. So I would just jot down on one page here everything for 2024 that I start accumulating before I have time to get into my new inserts. So that's how I use these end pages here. And likewise, contact lists. Really? Does anybody really use this on paper anymore? I highly doubt it. Everything's on our phones. So I probably will also try to repurpose this or just really not use it. And that is the end of this. I will mention that I've seen a lot of planner setup videos where they have the little lifter sheet at the back. I can't remember off the top of my head what that term is. Again, I'm definitely new to planners, honestly. But I'm looking for one of those sheets because what happens when you close this is, as you'll see, when you close this item here, it doesn't totally lay flat. In fact, some of the pages will go a little lower down here, if you know what I mean. So it tends to wrinkle them a little bit. So I thought that I want to pick up one of those lifter sheets. So let me know where I can find that. I have been having some trouble finding those things. And then in the back here, I do have some inserts that I haven't used last year, but are available to me. So these are for, I thought, just good for note taking. You can check off the month and dates of your meetings and just write notes. And I do use note paper a lot in these planners. And then I have some just basic blank sheets too. So I just put that in the back folder here. And then this planner also has a little pocket here if you want to keep extra cards or what have you. And then it has a pen loop here, and this is all leather lined, of course. So as I'll talk about in my MM video, the planner pens that I got from Cloth and Paper, I'm actually not using. They're a little bulkier, and I like a thin pen. And over the past year, I just used these from Amazon. Honestly, it's nothing very expensive. This is just a generic brand of pen from Amazon, but I really like it because of how thin it is, as you can see here. And it honestly, writes pretty well. So I'm just going to go ahead and pull up a piece of scrap paper here for my inserts, and I'll just share with you guys kind of what it looks like. But here is what it looks like. So it's very thin, and I got a whole pack up of different colors. So I love using colored pens because it kind of changes up the look of the planner, because right now it's very neutral. So it's nice to have little pops of color, but see how nicely it writes. I don't know if you can see that, but it writes really, really well. It's thin, which I love. It doesn't bleed through paper. So that's another little scribble I tried, but it doesn't bleed through paper here, so that's awesome. So I really love these. There's so many versions of these kind of pens. This is just a generic one, but I really like how thin it is. So please, again, I always ask for pen recommendations because I haven't found the perfect planner pen yet, but I want one that's very thin and it's fine line and doesn't bleed through. Those are my requests. But here right now, I just like that, and I like how thin it is and it doesn't mess with the papers. All right, so let me go ahead and close this planner up, and this is really what it looks like. Again, super pleased with this. The purpose of this GM is really just schedules. That's all it is, just our schedules. But I really enjoy using this. It really makes me happy every time I open this up. I just love how it looks on my desk. So far, super pleased with how it's holding up. Excited to jump into this little guy. I will continue to do other reviews later on this planner and show you more wear and tear. And at some point, of course, do a true comparison between this and the MM size. But again, stay tuned for my MM setup that is soon to come as well. I hope your new year has gotten off to an awesome start. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.